We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what we have here is Revved up hot sauce. It is the spicy cayenne, giving it 4 peppers out of 5, calling it hot. That is not something I will be agreeing with. And of course, I chit-chat about that a little bit more in the written review, which of course is available in the description down below. So it's sauce for every occasion, to mix into things, use on pulled pork, to add to pizza sauce for some of the suggested uses. I'm not finding this that flexible. They're more than just a hot sauce company. Innovation and passion, and so I think the innovation part is definitely they're trying to really extend things here. Trying new flavors. Of course, that is a big part of what this channel and of course the blog and just me in general as a foodie is all about. Rebecca Light, I believe is her name, is fearless to chase down a hot sauce dream. So this is hailing out of Las Vegas. A little bit of the copy there. We start with habaneros, red wine vinegar, white vinegar, molasses, tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce. We have sugar, garlic, cayenne pepper, xanthan gum, and sorbic acid. So I talked a little bit about this, but the red wine vinegar and the molasses from this point on are really going to give me some pause, I think, with sauces. Because I am finding the results to be honestly somewhat on the underwhelming side. And it's happened enough times with both those ingredients that I'm going to be leery from this point when I see those things, just as I am with certain other ingredients. So we can see it definitely has a lot of bits and pieces and whatnot in it. This is a bit of oddness to me, though. You can see it is not very watery. It's not a water. Let me put this back on real quick. I'll show you. It's not super watery. You can see it definitely flows somewhat loosely, but this I don't understand. Like why there would be a need for a restrictor cap on there. We're going to relieve ourselves of that right now. I was initially going to leave it on because I didn't really have plans with this sauce too much beyond this video. And I think I might have 1 or 2 uses for it outside of there, so I might as well just take off the restrictor cap because it's a pain. So you can see it's fairly thick as far as the cayenne sauce goes. It is definitely a little bit loose, but not to the point where I would say it needs a restrictor cap. That's silly. As you can see, we are having some... It actually is not sticking too bad to this plastic on the spoon. That does not like things to be stuck to it. Very nice reddish hue. This sauce really looks good. It's a good looking sauce. Nice reddish, little tinges of orange at the edge, but overall it's just a nice red color. I like the color of this quite a bit. But of course, looks are one thing, taste is another, and let's get on into that part. Hey. I don't mind throwing more ingredients, trying to modify the complexity of the sauce. I just don't like where this one winds up. I can kind of see where they're going for, but to me, molasses and red wine vinegar to an extent tend to color things quite a bit, and I think if one or both of those things was deleted, and maybe something like turbinado sugar was used, I think that would be more on course with what they're trying to get to. There's I think a really good sauce in here, trying to get out, but it's just not quite making it all the way there. As it is, it's got some really oddness to the lingering. And so this was actually a fairly full bottle. Sometimes I get bottles where it's only up to the bottom of the neck. This one was full, I think, pretty much close to the top, which, having the restrictor cap on top of everything, made it a little bit hard to agitate. But this has definitely changed quite a bit, actually, as I get into this more. And I applaud the effort trying to do stuff to change things up. But like I said, just where this winds up, I'm not really a big fan of, and I think it is somewhat of a confusing result. I think sauces, when you try to do this, when you try to get away from what the expectation is of Cayenne, you have to have, the sauce needs an identity. If it's not going to have that one, it needs one of its own. And I think this one, that's really where this one fails, is that it doesn't seem like it has a very forceful identity of its own. All right, so what I got for you today is we got mac and cheese, and this right here is just a can of tuna fish that I've drained all the water from. So this is back to my bodybuilding days, and I haven't been able to get into the gym for a while now because people just can't seem to find a way to put this COVID thing to rest. And I'm not trying to go in there and catch something I can't throw back. You know what I mean? But when you're in that mode, you always try to find a way to get your protein. And so what I would do is I didn't use this brand. This was just on sale, so I got it. It's Hamburger Helper. Not very good mac and cheese. But that's excellent to have it, because when the mac and cheese isn't that good, you definitely need to help it. You need to step on it a little bit with some hot sauce. Great application. Sometimes I would have just the tuna fish with some jalapenos sliced, like nacho jalapenos, and then I put tiger sauce on it, and I had that quite a bit. But I'm not really full keto or anything like that, even when I was closer to that back then. So what I would try to do is I would try to make sure I had carbs in there, so that it would, the idea being that it would leave the protein macros free for my body to utilize them to hopefully help with recovery, build muscles and all that. So this is kind of what I hit on, using macaroni and cheese because it was easy, it was convenient, not a lot of cleanup. I hate dragging dirty dishes around with me. I was biking to work a lot in those days, and I don't want to take a bunch of dirty dishes with me in my backpack when it's getting to be 80, 90, 100 degrees outside, right? That's just asking for it. So I didn't want to do any of that. So this was nice because I could drain the tuna, I could do the macaroni and cheese, and combine them on like paper plates or plastic bowls or something like that was in the office, or I just bring those myself and just toss the whole thing and not have to worry about it. It's all very stable. Cans are sealed until you open it. This is dry until you actually cook it. So that was my solution for work, and I did that quite a bit, especially when I was really in the mode. Plus, I needed the carbs anyway to make sure I had some of those when I was biking all the time. So, all right, we need to agitate this again. A lot of agitation with, even though there's anthem gum in here, just this doesn't stay super suspended. So we'll just a solid amount here. Do it in stripes. All right, and here's what we got. See, it's in stripes. And let's just see how it shakes out in here. Now, to me, a cayenne sauce has to work with macaroni and cheese. It has to work with a creamy sauce application like this, or Alfredo, or any of those. And if it doesn't, that is somewhat of a problem. This one's not. Boy, it's just that combination of molasses with the other stuff is really jarring. I get the idea, but I think there's a better way to accomplish that. Some people like the flavor coloring of molasses. I don't particularly. I don't like or dislike it. It's just there, I guess. But I think with a sauce like this, you have to be really, really careful at where you wind up with isn't intrusive, and I think that's really kind of the big failure point of this sauce for me. And when that happens, you know, it's not pleasant to eat. I get that, you know, you want to gourmet stuff up. There's a gourmeting sauces up is a big segment of the market right now. I understand the motivation. You know, and good on Rebecca for taking her shot. This just doesn't hit all the way there for me. There are, of course, other sauces in the lineup. And I'll consider some of those maybe down the road, but here's the other danger if you're a new sauce company. Your margin for error is really low. So if your day is insanity, for instance, and you're making garbage like the insanity sauce, temporary insanity, all that, which doesn't taste good, but you have the market pretty much all to yourself, with one or two other exceptions. Sure, pile all the extract you want in there. If you're John Hard, and you know you've got a million other sauces by now, you can afford to have some duds. But when you are just coming out there, and this is established 2020, so established during the year of the pandemic, your razor margin for error just gets that much thinner sliced. There's so much competition out there, so I think arriving to an end result that's a fairly fixed identity is really going to be helpful there. This one just doesn't quite get there. It definitely has a lot of promise and potential here. It's just not there. So, and it might be batch specific. Maybe there is some tweaking going on with other batches. I don't know, but I am not inclined to look too much further into this and find out. There's just so many other sauces. So many other sauces out there, so many other manufacturers out there that, you know, now it's just, when there's that much, if you really want to rise above, you just can't have misses. And this isn't a horrible miss. I mean, I might come fairly close to finishing this, but it isn't. I don't like this sauce by itself, especially. In that application, it was acceptable, it was tolerable. It's okay with things somewhat to a degree, but when you get the sauce just by itself, I don't find that quite palatable. Like I said, I'm just kind of confused as to where they're trying to take this. You know, I get kind of the idea, but I don't like where this actually does wind up. even though I can kind of get an idea of where I think it was trying to go. So, if that makes sense. But anyway, there it is, the revved up spicy cayenne hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.